welcome to the December 6th, 2023 meeting of the Goffstown Economic Development Council. If you could all join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I can say we safely have a quorum already, so with that, I will ask if everyone got a chance to see the minutes and if we can get a motion.
There are actually, I think, I don't know if I copied them wrong. I think I gave you 2 sets of minutes.
Did you?
And I think, did I
Did we
not?
were we not able to vote on one? Is
Oh,
that why?
never mind, I'm thinking of planning board.
Okay,
This
so we're
is
good.
only 1 set.
Okay,
Change your hat. Change your hat.
so can I get a motion to accept? Or make
Yeah, I'll
changes?
motion.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. Motion.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Charlie, seconded by Dick. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? And any abstain? That's what I thought. Okay, thank you very much.
Can I make a request?
Sure.
I don't know, other than Joanne, I don't know anybody else in the room.
We'll do that, yeah, we should do that roll call. That makes a heck of a lot of sense. So why don't we start with Joanne?
Oh, I know Joanne.
Joanne Duffy, planning director.
I'm Sarah Smith-Chupakis, and I'm a member.
Okay.
Sarah's also a business owner in town.
Well, I know the last name Tripakis, but that's from many years ago in the steel industry.
Yeah, because my husband was, his dad owned Queen
Chris
City Steel.
Tripakis.
Yeah, Chris.
Charlie's.
Yeah.
Okay,
Melanie Renfrew Hebert, I'm a member.
okay.
Jim Craig, I'm the select board representative.
Thank you, Jeff.
Chet Bowen, I'm the chair.
And Chris Barrett, I'm an alternate member.
Charlie Birchmeyer, member. And Dick Bruno, member.
Remember, I knew your son's father. I worked with him many, many, many years ago at Lions Ironworks down on Maple Street in Manchester.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But
Well, that
thank
was-
you.
No, you're welcome. That was a great segue because now we are already to you on the agenda. So you would like to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what you do. That would be great.
Oh, sure. My name is Mark Gennard. The G is hard, not like the liquor. I own New Hampshire Steel Fabricators, New Hampshire Steel Erectors, which is our union erecting company, and Goffstown Self Storage. I started building in 1982, moved in '83. Been in business now for 43. I'm on 44th year, actually. I was very young when I started.
I was going to say, you look too young for that.
Thank you. But I qualified for Medicare 2 years ago. But anyway, so I've been in town a long time, over on Lammy Drive, and happy to be here. So, that's it.
Well, thank you for that. One of the things that we are trying to do, a charge that we take fairly seriously, is trying to get new businesses into town based on what successful businesses have done. And then, of course, try to avoid any pitfalls that even successful businesses have had to go through. So do you have any examples of things that have gone really well since you have been here, something you were able to take advantage of, or even any challenges you might have had?
I don't know about advantages. I will say this, that we've expanded the facility. The town's been very good to me.
Sure.
So we try to give back to the schools and things like that. But, so we've expanded the facility, I think, 4 times over the course of those years we've been in town. And it's gone very well for us. Unfortunately, we're out of room.
Mm-hmm.
We're out of room. But other than that, the location for us is outstanding. Majority of our business, 95% of our business is downtown Boston, so we're trucking down the road. So we're close to the highway, it's very convenient, it works for us very well. The fact that Lammy Drive's a dead end also helps us, actually.
Sure.
It minimizes residential traffic when you're hauling steel in and out of there, or some of the other business in the area. Same thing, John and Don Cody, they have similar issues. But no, the location is outstanding for us. I just wish I had more land.
Was that the reason, first reason, location was when you, did you originally start up there on Lemmy Drive?
No. Our first shop was an old barn in Barnstead, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
On Route 28. Then we moved to what's now CD Boiler Works in Hooksett. down the hole there across to the moccasin place. And Hooksett was a tough town to do business with. We tried to expand there. They wouldn't let it, they didn't like steel, I don't know why.
That was before Joanne was there.
What year was that?
That would have been 1981,
Yeah, I
82.
started there in 93.
And I knew Dick Lammy, and I found out he owned land on Lammy Drive, and I think it was Weaver Construction was doing the road. The road wasn't done. So I bought 2 lots from him. I built fabricators on the first lot, I didn't do anything on the second lot. And because the lot was literally shaped like the state of New Hampshire. It's like this. So when we built the shop, we put the office in the very back, so we wouldn't stunt our growth. And I think in '85, I started the first part of the storage operation just for something to do, which I'm quite frankly tired of doing. But,
So there are storage units in the front.
well, so yeah, we're side by side.
Are side by side, and then the steel business is another section of the property.
I will say I'm the only one that's for some reason landscapes along Lammy Drive. Both properties are fully landscaped, we don't keep it, but I think it looks good. It makes a good entrance for us.
How big is your lot?
17, I think, is just a hair under 2.5 acres, and 15 was right around 2.
What do you need?
I need to tear down my storage facility to build another shop, so I need to do. Which is what
Is that the thought process right now?
it's in the
Is that what
thought
you-
process now. Of course, the interest rates have kind of put a kibosh to that a little bit, but yeah, I'm looking into it as an option. Haven't pulled that trigger yet, but we've been working on it. The steel business has been very good to us, and we've grown quite a bit over the years, obviously, and
And still
I
growing,
cannot,
it sounds like.
we are. And there's opportunities out there again, but I can't right now physically expand.
Does it have to be land that's attached to your property?
What's that?
Is it have
It's
to-
very difficult to, at least in my belief, to have satellite operations.
That's what I'm asking, because there's is there other spots anywhere along that road? I'm just curious. I mean,
There is one down the street by, next to the urgent care building.
It's probably not easy to get in and
Oh,
out.
yeah, I know what you're talking about, right down the end, on the corner of Mass Road.
It's like one
One
in
lot.
from the corner.
Okay. No, I'd rather just
Expand for.
take over
to,
15 Lammy Drive
mhm.
and build another facility there. And if the town let me, I'd take the fence down, put a bridge across the drainage portion, so we'd have a big open area. So I, would eliminate 2 of the 3 buildings there. So we reduced the roof space, but had some more offices in the front. And I'm out of office space. We're hiring people right now, we got them climbing on each other. So, like I said, we're kicking that idea around.
What would you do with this? Would you get out of the storage business if that was the case? You're thinking of taking,
That would be the
Getting rid
idea,
of it,
yeah.
yeah.
We'd have to look, we've looked at the legalities of the tenants and how much time they have to be given, but yeah, we'd tear it down. The site's pretty much done, we'd have to redo the drainage, obviously,
mhm.
because we have drainage going in between all the buildings, catch basins, et cetera.
Right,
Those
right.
would disappear, but the surface area of the roofage would drop dramatically. So we'd just redo all that and take the fence that separates the 2 facilities so we get back and forth and haul our steel around. Because we're literally running out of room. I mean, we're stacked in there pretty good.
Yeah, so forgive me if I'm missing. You're mentioning this thing you want to do. What are the barriers? Interest rates, absolutely, but what are the barriers within town that are stopping you? Are there any?
None that I know of, it's
Okay.
me.
Oh, it's just you. Okay.
I'm a deep thinker. I take the last edition we did, it took me about 4 years to make up my mind to do that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, when I did, the interest rates were about 2.5%.
Wow. Nice.
So that's when we did that. And, no, the town has been very good. I have no issues. As I said, I've been here since '80. We moved in December of '83.
How many employees do you have?
Combined between the 2 companies, just under 100.
Nice.
Pretty significant.
Yeah.
How much square footage are you looking at adding?
Steel shops don't have to necessarily, they're long. So we'd be looking, the middle building at storage, I have 3 buildings. A is 40 by 370, B, the middle one is 30 by 370, and C, the smaller one is 20 by 280. C goes away, A goes away, B goes away, but the shop would be 50 by 300,
Okay.
plus office space. Yes,
Mark, hi, thanks for being here.
no worries, thanks for inviting me.
I had a question. My question was, how many employees work for the storage, and would you be able to retain any of them?
We actually
You
control
stop.
it, we don't have an office there. We control it out of our office. So no one would lose, no one would lose a position. That's just kind of a, it's there.
Yeah.
So the people actually come to our office, we have gates between so they come through. Finance books are all handled in the same office, the girls share the load. And it's worked effectively for us, but,
But now you can see more return if you.
well, we make our money in the steel business.
Right.
That's what we want to grow. I'm also working with the Goffstown High School. I was contacted by Kurt, I can't remember his name, a couple years ago I went in there, and Frank McBride contacted me. They have a welding program at school. It's called artistic welding. We're trying to get it more vocational. The theory is you got a kid that doesn't want to go to college. There's plenty of them, I didn't go to college. If they can develop a trade, there's a ready market right down the street from the high school. If they want to hang steel, they're not afraid of heights, I can get them into the union, which is a great opportunity for a young guy between the benefit package and things that they have. There are other facilities around the state as well that they could go to, but I actually got Local 7 to graciously, we donated 7 welding machines to the high school. I don't think they're using them.
They're not.
But
Well, I think they're coming around now. This
Okay.
guy, Kurt, I can't think of his last name, he's a very energetic guy. He came to my office, we talked about it. I said, we'll supply you the steel, whatever you need. What's the criteria? A kid comes out as a certified welder. I got one kid from Goffstown working in my shop, Nate, I can't think of his last name. He went to one of the Vogue programs in Manchester, the Vogue High School. We hired him. He's one of the best welders. He's 22 now. Came to me at 18. He's one of the best welders in the shop. His pay has increased 4 times in those amount of time. We offer full benefits, so we pay 100% of their health insurance. We pay 100% of their dental insurance. We cover their spouses and families. We have a pension fund that we've set up with profit sharing, et cetera, et cetera. The kid's doing fantastic. He's going to be running the shop someday.
great.
If I get 3 or 4 kids like that,
I take it you're not feeling the pinch in workers,
oh, absolutely.
or you still are?
Oh, absolutely. One, it's a space issue, so we have to be very cautious of what we and the second thing, quite frankly, is in a business, I'm in my 44th year, we're starting to age out. Some of the guys have been with me a long time. So we're trying to get some young people in there. One of the problems is a lot of them don't want to, they'd rather work for Google or Amazon and wear sandals and shorts to work every day. But there are these kids like this kid Nate, who's been fantastic, and we're getting a younger crowd in there. It's hard to find them. And the thought is if we get something established at the high school, at the high school level, rather than at the vocational schools, college level, or applied college levels, these kids can come right out of high school and, get a job, a well-paying job.
Yeah, that was a
With
good example.
benefits.
Yeah, a good example of that one kid that you just told us.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I guess the high school's getting back involved, which is great, and we can help write the criteria for the class. And I said we'll supply them shop drawings. We'll supply them. They already got the welders. So if we get that going, maybe get more kids in that direction. Because to be honest, not everybody's cut out for college. And today, college.
Do they have any does anybody know? Do they have
MST, Goffstown buses kids to MST for iBus.
That's
So to hear you say that, I think that that's a really good point to make, is that our students would be staying in Goffstown
Right.
instead of
That's-
using bus
That's where
transportation to
the,
Manchester.
that's where the young man that's working for us, that's where he went.
To MSD, and
Yeah.
they have an amazing program.
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
And all different types of programs, from hairdressing to firefighting,
I'm trying to get
mechanics.
into the hairdressing one right now.
What's that?
It's completely full.
Oh, the hairdressing?
Always completely full. It's
Whenever
like
the kids would get on the bus, I'm
number
like,
one.
you guys got space for nails? What are we doing today? Like, you know, but I think to be able to make that point that like those students would be staying here and being able to utilize that. And I think you can take welding too into car mechanics and things like that.
Well, there's a lot of different
Or even the
trades.
shipyard.
Yeah, we're not the only steel company in the state either.
Right.
But, so there's opportunity there.
That's a natural feeder program if you could do it at the
Well,
high
I'm
school.
a
and-
businessman, so on a selfish reason, yeah, absolutely, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's beneficial on all sides.
Exactly.
It sounds like for the school too, if they had, that eliminates the busing need and
We're-
gives students more choices.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
And I said we would do, if they want to come down, do a tour, they want to come down and observe or whatever, I'm open to that.
It's great.
If I get one or two more kids like that, right now, it'd be golden. So,
How long would an apprenticeship be roughly?
for something like that, probably just a full year of courses. You know, you develop them, as I said, the Frank and the instructor there, if you understand, they have to learn how to stick well first, the old fashioned, like when I was a kid. You're putting a rod in the thing and you're running it. Everything else is automated, a big machine, you know, et cetera. Teach them the hard part first. Once they get that, everything else is easy. And if they, and they go through a course, they go through testing, they have to learn, understand the symbols, you know, read prints, things like that, but we can supply all that. They come out at the end of the day, we'll supply the test plates. I have a testing company that'll test their plates for them. If they pass the well test, they get a certification.
State.
Absolutely, yeah, the state. Well, through the American Welding Society, the AWS does it. And they carry a card with them, so wherever they go, you certify, yes, I am. And, I mean, we train, we have people come in and not very good welders, we end up training them over time. So it develop a workforce, it gives them a workable certification that they can go to any shop and you know, pull a job and, you know, get a very, you know, very good paying job.
SNU did a similar thing with GE over in Hooksett for their aerospace program, and that worked out really well too. I don't know if it's still going on, but they took, you know, college kids, but it's the same premise that they trained them and they were guaranteed a job at the end.
So I would think if you were able to get that up and running, one of the very small things we could do to help with social media is say, hey, this is what's going on. Maybe some parents will see that and say, hey, you should check this out. It's at your school. And hopefully it does get up and running because that would be helpful.
Well, absolutely, if you could do that, because if the school can establish the program,
Mhm.
develop the criteria. When I was at the high school touring their shop, what they had, the instructor says, well, what's the passing grade? You're certified. This isn't A, B, C, D.
Right.
This is, you know,
You can do the work.
yeah, this is steel. This is, you know, I've got a shop full of great guys that work hard.
Would you consider it as a program that they would offer for, I see that they'll offer night classes there too for computer programming. They actually did some type of like hand welding type of class. I think it was more for artistic-y type things.
Yeah.
Would you consider it to not only just be a daytime high school student course, but would you also consider maybe they open it up to people that are maybe a little bit older to take it as a nighttime course as well?
I wouldn't, that would be up to them. I would have no issue with that.
So now you're educating more than just the high schoolers and opening up more possibilities for jobs for people.
Well, it really takes off. You're gonna need a bigger room than they have at the high school.
That's cool.
Is that the high school, by Memorial High School, is that what you're talking?
Yeah, yeah.
What high school?
Manchester School of Technology.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
somewhere near the Dunkin' Donuts on.
Yes, it is.
I know where all the Dunkin' Donuts are. I love coffee, so I know all of New England, I can find them. But yeah, that's the one, yeah. And I think that's where Nate went. Went to the one in Manchester, from Goffstown.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so jumping back to the storage thing, and this is kind of for my own reference, because I know nothing about the legalities of it, but you had mentioned that, you know, that there would be a certain amount of time that you would have to give tenants of those
Right.
units. So in an ideal world, like what are the legalities of it? In an ideal world, if you could start today, what sort of a timeline would it be to put that piece of it into effect so that you could eliminate the storage and expand?
I would say probably 18 months.
18, okay.
We've looked at it. The biggest part for us is the site is pretty much set. It's been there for almost 40 years. So we obviously have to have the engineer done in the site, soil survey, et cetera. I got to put leaching fields in H20 chambers because we have no sewer there. But we use
Which is another story.
long time ago. H20 chambers you can utilize because you can run a 22, we can carry 22 ton of steel on a tractor. So it has to be able to hold that weight. So that's what we have at our facility now, H20 chambers. But unfortunately, about 50 feet off the back of the building, so I can't go any further. But if I eliminate building A, I got that whole area, or the backside of C, I got that whole area. And we'll use it for parking, that's where we put all the cars now. Where that 20 by 280 building is, that'd be our parking. So it frees up more floor space to store steel. We've looked into it, I think, honestly, I think you have to give a tenant 30 days.
That's it, okay.
But we were thinking maybe up to 6 months. And just, you know, we're full, so I'm not gonna go and say, get the heck out, and if you don't, we're gonna move it out. I mean, where am I gonna put it, first of all? So, on a timetable, we thought minimum, probably 6 months. Then you gotta demo the buildings down, haul the materials away, and then start your site. You know, or the water concerns we would have, the site, foundations. The building go up quick, we're in the steel business. Put it up quick.
Sure.
Biggest part would be transferring the equipment from the one shop to the other. Because we're gonna try to diversify our product. And so we utilize the old shop as well and make some changes and move it, one part of what we do into the new shop. And again, create more office space because we're literally out of office space.
And this is out of curiosity for other businesses, so you clearly have been successful. Where and when, if you can recall, did you learn about, if you want to put a new building up, the site plan, and all the stuff you have to do through the town, and in the meetings you have to go to, when did you learn all that? Was it something that you had already had before you started? Or?
No.
Exactly, so tell us about that.
I was 23 years old.
Yeah.
So, I got a job at Lyons Ironworks, and I did go to the technical, I went to NHTI for 2 years, but I got tired of school, and it took me a while to get in there. Actually, I want to be an architect. I have God-given talent, maybe for my dad too, to be able to draw. So in high school, I took drafting courses for 4 years. So I got a job at Lyons Ironworks, and they coming out of Chapter 11. As some people might be doing, but it was right after they screwed up the Seabrook Power Plant steel and got them in trouble. So I learned a lot. As far as the construction is concerned, if you've ever been to my building, you'll see turns and wall there because I designed it myself. So we got doors opening into each other and things like that. Kind of learn as you go.
Sure.
I had a lot of good help. My very first planning board meeting, the town was very helpful, very helpful. They were excited about getting business in there, and we were out digging test pits the day before, and we didn't have a full survey done. We had an elevation plot, water things like that, and they passed me through. So, it's been, you know, that process over time. I've learned, as I said. The second edition was, I think, in 1990. I can't remember the third or the fourth. I remember the fifth one, which was about 5-6 years ago, I think. So, no, once you got the process down, like I said, people in the town have been over the years, been very helpful. Very helpful.
So cooperative and never delayed you for any, any reason that was, you know, more bureaucratic
The only
kind of
delay I
stuff?
had at one point, many years ago, was fire suppression, water sprinkle, because it was, and we went to the meeting and we said, steel shops are exempt, National Fire Code. And the former fire chief, many years ago, was adamant, no, you gotta, I said, you can't. He said, we're exempt. He said, I don't care. We want, I said, okay. With all due respect, how many ambulances do you have in town? I said, what do you mean? He said, we're on a concrete floor, guy's holding a 400 amp machine in his hand, he's welding to steel. If that water goes off by accident or by reason, no one gets out alive. We're gonna get electrocuted. That's why we're exempt. So that got through. That was the only holdup. It's never been a problem
It
since.
sounds like it was pretty black and white after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
right?
So, and the last time we went through, we were gonna try to put another building on the backside of the lot we're in, but we walked away from that because we'd lose too much floor space. So we got it approved, but we just walked away from it, we didn't do it. And there's no plans on doing that because it just doesn't, I mean, we're a little stretched. On the addition, we had to encroach on the setback. That went fine, no objection. I think the setback, we want to put, years ago, we used to, on the back side between the end of Cody Ave and Lamy Drive, they had the backside of my building, we gravelled it, and the town used it as a fire lane. I remember many years ago, right down on Daniel Palmer, there was an aluminum fabrication operation, and they blew up one day. I don't know if anybody remembers that,
I
go
do.
back in time. It blew up. Smoke, black smoke everywhere. So they shut down Daniel Palmer Road, and they hauled all the cars through our yard to get them around back over to 114 and St. Anne's Drive. So we put the addition on, we decided to pave it. We decided to pave it. We said, we're going to pave it. So we had to encroach 5 feet. And they said, yeah, no problem. It's no longer used for that. One of my neighbors objected to me paving that, so we put a fence up.
But it's not the town. And that's good for
Not
us
the
to
town.
hear. That's good for us.
Not
to
the
hear.
town.
Okay.
But no,
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm in town. I mean, you know, I didn't know Goffstown. I'm not from here originally. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. My dad moved me here against many of our objections to New Hampshire. But I didn't even know where it was, to be honest with you.
We're going where?
Exactly. I've never seen so many trees in my life. I lived in the city. We lived in the city, so. But I would never, I mean, I love it up here. And no, the town's been, I fell into the land and it's been great. Like I said, we
Sounds
started
like you've been very successful. I'm
well, we
glad
started
you're in our
our
town.
44th year, and in the old days was me and 3 guys in the shop. And now we got close to 100 employees,
Fantastic.
Great.
so.
Other thoughts or questions?
Well, by the way, if you want to know what we really do,
Yeah.
okay, our sick code, federal sick code is called miscellaneous metals. It's hard to describe, so you say stairs and rails, but if you've been to the Verizon Center in Manchester, you walk down any stair, lean down any rail, look for any glass rail, that's what we do. If you've been to Gillette Stadium, you walk down any stair, lean down any rail, that's what we do. That's what we do.
So it's more the interior steel work
Yes.
rather than the,
We don't do the big red iron,
you know, okay.
no.
Oh, great.
You know, we run the stairs, with the fire stairs,
Okay.
and then we do a lot of ornamental stuff. So,
So that's a specialty in itself, obviously, and you.
yeah, it's more labor intense,
Yeah.
the material intense, and we made that was a decision I made all those years ago to do that. 'cause
In pretty welds,
Huh?
in pretty welds.
Yeah, oh, it has to be,
It has to be.
because everything's visual,
Yeah.
everything's
Yeah.
visual.
You install in as well as.
We have a union wrecking company, yeah, they're, the front part of the addition is their shop,
Oh, okay.
so. Good old local 7 in Dorchester.
It sounds like you get some good clients there too.
Honestly, right now, everything we built, we do a lot of hospital work. We've done every major hospital in New England. We're at Mass General now, they're a $2 billion expansion. We're at Faulkner. We just finished the Hale project, Children's Hospital. It's a great project, a little depressing to go there sometimes, to be honest with you. great facility, you know, you name it, so we do a lot of that work, and those are big contracts for us. I mean, the Mass General project, if we're lucky enough to get all 4 phases, and we're on 2 now, complete date's 2031. So, but the way we backlog, we're backlogging at 2027 right now. So we have backlog on the books that carries into 2027. So, so yeah, we work with some of probably the 4 biggest contractors, certainly in the Boston marketplace, but in New England as well. And we do a lot of work for these guys that stretches out, so we're very lucky. But we do everything from various up to very, very high-end stuff. We just finished a very ornamental stair for the Moderna kind of fit out in one of the buildings down there. Everything's either hospital or pharmaceutical right now.
Yeah.
So that was the upside of COVID for us. I'm not kidding. We've done a building for Pfizer, CRISPR, Foundation Medicine, Sanofi. I can't think of all of them. 105 West First was another pharmaceutical. So, and they're still building. They're still building. So,
Are you connected to other business owners in town? Or do you feel well connected to many business owners in town?
no, not really.
Okay.
I pretty much go to my office.
Yep.
This is how I dress, because I sit in my office all day.
So I never trust a man who wears a scarf.
And
inside.
on the outside or the inside. I met years ago when I used to love to go to Putnam's for lunch.
Mhm.
I met a judge and the guy that owns the hardware store.
Larry Brown.
Could be, and I know the guy at Mr. G's, because we get all our tires from Mr. G's.
Mhm.
I can't think of his name, but I know him. That's pretty much it. I knew Ray Cody well until he passed away. And I know John and Don Cody next door and his son John. But that's pretty much it. We're pretty much there. I don't really venture up into town very often. Because now I eat lunch at my desk. I don't like to lose the time.
I get it. I do.
So, no. So no, I don't know the inner workings. I know the high school. I know the football program. I coach high school. I coached my last year. I coached Justin Huff, who's the AD now.
Mhm.
Came to my office talking about coaching one more year, so I did. We went to the championship game that year. We lost. And
But you won.
first time they won a playoff game.
Yeah.
There you go.
But, so we've helped boost that program quite a bit over the years. Because, it's a great give back.
Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes a kid playing football is the only thing keeping them in school, or sport, keeping them in school.
No doubt. So if you get the high school to work with you, if there's anything we can do, let us know. If there's anything we can do at all for you,
Yeah.
let us know. We do every so often try to connect businesses out in that area, in Pinarville, etc., and try to have a meeting to just discuss sort of what's going on in town, any projects that are coming up, and get feedback from local businesses. So we will certainly reach out to you
Sure.
directly in the future if we do that. I think, Joanne, on average, once every 6 months or so, we try something like that. Yeah, so we'll reach out directly to you and see if we can find a place to host and have you there as well, so we can try to connect the business owners. What we're looking for, and I'm not trying to speak for everyone, I'm just here, but I mean, people keep me honest, is really a voice of the businesses in the town that currently exist. Like, what do you think of what they're planning, the master plan, or what do you think of what they're going to do with Bartlett School, and whatever it is, we'd like to have that kind of voice and be able to speak to that here, and then potentially connect with some of the other boards in town on those issues. What we have struggled with is getting a lot of feedback from the actual businesses in town.
Gotcha.
And we've tried to use UNH Co-op to reach out. We've tried to third party it. We've tried to do it on it. Sarah did a great job trying to connect everybody. And we've struggled a bit. So we'll definitely reach out to you on that as well next time we give it a shot to try to find a voice of the businesses in town.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
That'd be great. So, other questions or thoughts, concerns, anything? All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your
Are you
time.
done?
You can hang out. You can hang out.
You can hang
We're
out.
almost done. But you can
I
hang out.
like to listen, because
Yeah.
I don't know Goffstown, so I
Yeah,
read
hang
through
on.
this, but I'd like to just.
I don't know how much you'll learn here, but, we'll
You know,
try.
there is
We'll
a,
try.
There's an economic development council in Goffstown always looking for members who want businesses. I'm just saying out loud. That's something.
Oh,
Yeah, just saying.
Then
Okay.
you'd have to come in town for a meeting,
So,
you know.
in new business, so Joanne, I know that we always talk about the agendas now. Is there anything on ZBA or planning involving an existing or a new business that would interest us?
So the ZBA already met last night.
Yep.
And they had residential, except you might be interested in a plan that's going before the planning board in Pinardville for 26 residential condominium units. And that's on the property where there was sort of this illegal automotive, I don't know exactly what they did, but
Sure.
something to do with automotive work. It was an old farmhouse, one or two houses in from 114A.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It used to be owned by
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
John Heichel, who was
Yes.
a planning board
Okay.
member at one time.
Yeah.
There's a company, it's actually Lamontagne, who's doing the
They're
other
the ones
project
that did
across
the
from the
one.
villa. They purchased the land and they're looking to put in a condominium with 26 units. So they're before the planning board and they're going back to meet with them again next week. The zoning board only had residential this time around. And then that's the only sort of commercial type for planning board's next meeting. They have, the other two projects are residential.
So will the ZBA though have to hear from this group that's building the condominiums? Is it zoned for, is it flex?
It's
Is it-
it's zoned like RSBO 1, I believe. I think it says it on here.
So it was resident.
Yes, it's zoned
it was
resident, it's zoned small business residential 2 district, which multifamily is allowed. So they have some issues, and they resubmitted new plans this week, so we have to take a look at them before the staff report goes out on Friday.
Okay. Okay.
And then the other thing happening tomorrow night is the first public hearing for amendments to the zoning ordinance. And those are listed here if anyone has any questions. There are quite a few, I think there's 18 altogether. If anyone has any questions, I can explain it.
Do we have a copy of that?
Are they attached to the?
This was in the packet behind the minutes, after the
No, it's
minutes.
behind.
After the minutes.
Still don't.
Oh, I only see
I don't
motion
see
to
it.
adjourn from the last minutes at the last
And then
meeting.
after the agenda? No? You don't have it?
No, sorry.
That's
Sorry,
weird.
Joanne.
I'm sorry. I don't know why you don't have it. Do you want me to just read it through quickly?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. The first one is to rezone the police station. Currently, it's zoned agricultural, and we're looking to rezone it to commercial, which would make more sense. The second one is to rezone some land on Kennedy Hill Road, which is currently in the commercial industrial flex zone, to agricultural. We had a request recently for someone to build a house there with a barn, not a house, I'm sorry, a barn with an apartment in the second floor. However, the property needed to go for a variance because the residential use wasn't permitted. And then he's also trying to start up a tree farm. So it's pretty rural back there, and the only way to get to it is from Addison and Kennedy Hill,
Yep.
which is kind of a really rough road. So they had to sign off and get permission from the select board and sign off that that they're not holding the town liable for anything should something happen, such as
Which
maybe.
member of the select board would have been really sure that they sign off on that?
I don't know.
They can't get their building permit without that. So anyway, there's other lots surrounding that lot that their only frontage is Kennedy Hill, which is a Class 6 road. So we thought it might make more sense to zone it agricultural. The next one is the flood hazard district section of our zoning ordinance. The state has sent down some proposed amendments that they'd like to see. So we just follow that. They did it last year as well, so we're just following their directions. Article 5 is to change some language regarding split lot zoning. The way it is worded now, it's very vague, and so we're just enhancing the definition of it. Article 6, we're looking to see if the town will allow accessory dwelling units as a permitted use versus needing a special exception, because there have been so many of them. My mouth is so dry. There have been so many of them that the zoning board is really getting bogged down with those types of requests. They would still need, to follow the rules as far as the section of the ordinance that deals with accessory uses. They would just be allowed by right versus special exception.
It seems to be, that's a growing trend, it seems.
Yeah, it
all
is.
around
And
the
it's
country,
really
right,
a-
to help the housing
It's
situation.
actually a good thing because, with the shortage of housing, you're either your older kids or maybe you want to live in there and give the house to your older kids or something like that. And it's allowing that to happen, because people just either they can't find or they can't afford the houses that are on the market right now.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
The next one is to allow, let's see, I'm sorry, that was number 7, I skipped over. I'm looking at the definition change for accessory dwelling unit. It would read residential living unit that is within or attached to a single-family dwelling and that provides independent living facilities for one or more persons, including provisions for sleeping, eating, cooking, and sanitation on the same parcel of land as the principal dwelling unit I can't talk. It occupies. That's just basically adding to the definition, the terms of the definition. It's just giving it a little more oomph. Number 8 is adoption of Amendment 8, maximum of square footage for an accessory dwelling unit. Currently, it's maxed at 800. We're looking to change it to 1,000. This 800 is kind of on the small side. Number 9 is accessory to a principal use. So storage containers will be allowed in conjunction only with an active building permit. We've had some complaints from residents that people are using these storage containers on a permanent basis. They're just putting them in their driveway or on their land somewhere, and it really makes the town look
Can we
ugly.
not pass that until like April vacation so I can clear out my house for
I don't think, this won't go into effect until
Right.
like March, the end of March. Article 10, change the length of a standard parking space from 18.5 to 20 because of those long pickup trucks that people are driving nowadays. They're sticking out, and it came to be more apparent when the Glen Place development across from the villa was just built, because the driveways are so short and people have these long trucks, but the roadway width is only 22 feet. And so you can't even, drive down two-way traffic, and then you, all of a sudden, this truck, the back of the truck is in your way to get around. So that became more apparent. I'd like to see them wider because people are hitting each other's cars, and I think I think vehicles in general are just getting larger than they were before. It's usually,
But that only talks about the length of the space, doesn't talk about the
Doesn't
width.
talk about the width, just the
Why
length.
was it, do you know, why that wasn't, well, obviously, it's tough when you're doing any kind of development, of course, you're
Yeah.
taking up more land.
They were more concerned with the length than the width.
Yeah, that's because they're not taking small children out of the bus.
That's right, it's true. Then there's a new section, compact automobiles. And these compact spaces would only need to be 15 feet in length and 8 feet wide. And if you have a parking lot with more than 100 vehicles, you will be compelled to put an area in for compact auto spaces. However, I don't see in the foreseeable future that we'll be seeing any parking lots with 100 spaces, but I don't know.
Well, no,
knows?
99. Just under 100 employees over there.
Yeah.
Most of those guys are on the road.
That's true.
Driveway standards. This has to do with townhouse residential housing. There's certain types of housing that they need to provide parking spot for the delivery people. It's mostly like for multifamily, but the townhouse style wasn't included, so we just added that in because that's what we're seeing a lot of now. 14 is off-street loading. This is kind of the same situation. For multifamily, they need to provide at least one parking space for every square footage of the project. So you're talking about 5,000 to 20,000 square foot project. They need to provide at least one parking space for off-street parking. So that's basically for deliveries. The delivery people just park wherever, but it's nice to have a spot for them. Parking and storage of recreational vehicles now we're including storage containers which weren't included earlier. And they need to be permitted, they are not to be permitted or parked in a public way, which would be the public street, or they're not to be used for sleeping or housing purposes. The recreational vehicles is already included in that section. We're just adding storage containers. No motorized, this is number 16, parking and storage of certain vehicles. We're adding no motorized vehicles may be visually offered for sale in the residential 1 and residential 2 districts that is not inspected, owned, and registered resident of the property on which it is offered. And you can only have it for sale for no more than 60 days. And then there's some people that are kind of selling houses out of their residential lots. That's what that's geared towards.
You're selling automobiles.
Like lots of them, not just a
Yes,
few.
I know a few examples. Not mine.
Number 17, non-conforming structures. This currently reads, a structure shall not be enlarged or altered in a way that increases its non-conformity, but any structure or portion thereof may be altered or decreased in non-conformity. And then we're adding, except as provided in section 14.9.2, which comes in the next article. We're adding a structure that does not conform to an applicable setback or overlay district requirement may be enlarged if the proposed enlargement will not increase the existing nonconformity and will not violate any other provision of the zoning ordinance and is a permitted use in the district. So in other words, if you have a home and say it doesn't meet the setbacks on one side and you wanted to add on to it, so the structure itself is considered non-conforming. If you wanted to add on to that home and say you wanted to add on to the opposite side, you're not allowed to unless you get a variance because you're a non-conforming structure that cannot be expanded. So this just says in crazy language that you will be allowed to do that as long as you're not increasing the nonconformity. So if you're okay here with your setback and your addition will still remain within that setback, then you're good. You don't have to go get further permission from the zoning board. So we're trying to make it easier
Yep.
for
That makes sense.
people.
Can you build up instead of out?
You can, but that's considered, right now you can't, you still need the
But with
variance.
the new wording,
Yes.
you would be on the non-conforming side instead of, you can build up on
Yes,
that.
you can, because you're not increasing the footprint. And I think it makes more sense to
It
do
does.
that.
Yeah.
So Julie, what's the process to get those implemented?
So, this list, so we'll have a public hearing tomorrow night. If the board accepts this as it is, which I'm sure they never do, so I'm sure that they won't, then we need a second public hearing. And in the second public hearing, you can't change anything. So the only thing you can do is pull it back if you don't want to go forward with it. So they have two opportunities to, either the first one to change it, the second one to pull things. But then eventually it winds up on the warrant, and you will vote not at the deliberative session. These articles are not discussed, but you will vote on the ballot. They'll appear on the ballot on election day, so then when you go to the polls, you'll vote for them.
But then there can be petitioned
Yes.
articles as well, right?
Next Friday is the deadline for submitting petitioned articles. I haven't seen any since I've been here. They used to be like a big thing. Everybody
Yeah.
was always
Oh, yeah.
putting in for changes to the zoning ordinance, but there is one out there that we're thinking might come in, so we may have one this year. The petitioned articles, you cannot change. You just put it on the ballot the way it is, and they have to collect 25 registered voters' signatures for 25 registered voters in order for it to be legal. And then they add that to the ballot. The planning board, usually at the second public hearing, if there is an article like that, they will ask the petitioner to give a description of what it's all about and what they're trying to do. So,
Would an example of that be widening the parking spaces?
yeah, could be.
And
Just curious.
would each of those that gets on the warrant be explained in the voter's guide?
Yes, and the voter's guide will have a brief, excuse me, a brief explanation under each article.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I also have, if anyone wants to see more information on this, I can email it to you. I also have the actual zoning ordinance with the highlighted text that's changing. That'll be what the planning board will be handing out next week as well, but it gives you a better idea of what the changes look like.
Good, good.
Thank you. So, two things. I don't want to be ingracious host. We have someone new. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I've been trying to come several times.
Okay.
And
Okay,
I
but here you are.
actually went to drive out of my parking lot and went, and I saw the lights on and went, oh my gosh, I already told Sarah I'd be there tonight at 6. So here I am.
Here you are.
Parked my car and came back over. I am Ashley Sullivan. I actually own Lollipops here. So we share parking lot. That's why it triggered my brain. So here I am. And I've been trying to get here several times and I just haven't been able to. So, and I was like very interested, and you are correct. Sarah is a very good advocate of the businesses and trying to make things happen. So I appreciate that.
So, does everyone know where Lollipops is? So when Lollipops went in, they had leased an area. And then they decided, I think the tenant had moved out.
The
other
tenant and the landlord decided it was time. Like, it was like a month after they signed the lease
Yeah,
that.
so then they went and leased a second section, and then I think more recently they leased the back.
No, so our property, like, I haven't leased any other, there's 3 units in that building.
Okay.
Sweet Love has 1 unit, but Sweet Love does not go from front to back. The very first unit we rented was the back space, which is the back door, and anybody that comes in doesn't realize actually how big we are. So when you drive along, like if you go to leave Town Hall and you look, there's like that little stockade fence that they put up since the car drove through our building. The car drove actually through my office building, but it was next to the propane tanks. So from propane tanks on is Sweet Love's section.
Good thing they didn't hit the propane tank.
Oh, it was, I should have been in that office with my daughter that day. It was not good, but it's okay, we're all here. So my property, it's not my property, I rent it. So my space almost does like a J or a U. Originally it did a U. So we did like a U. And then we had a connecting door to the front unit. And my goal was to eventually be able to have Main Street. I didn't think it was going to happen within a month of me signing my lease. But I couldn't say no. So like, you're right, I took it over, not with the idea of being able to take this over, but I couldn't let that go either. So that's why everybody's like, what is she doing back there? And it's like, I don't have deep pockets. My husband's in the military, we have 5 children, and we have 5 young children who've been going through like medical, like you'll see, I'll post and be like, we're Boston Children's, please be patient with us or whatever. What's that?
I have adorable.
Oh, thank you. So we took that over with the idea to just kind of not do anything there and continue with what we had already set up. I set up the boutique out back. Like everything was hung, everything was rocking and ready to go. I started off my business when my husband deployed. Well, actually before he deployed, he was a high school wrestling coach. I started making sports singlets to save parents money on things. I started making like their uniforms. So, like, I feel like sometimes when you do travel sports, they always are changing the uniforms or like the sweatshirts so that the money. So, I mean, we came from Nashua. He came from Boston area. Not a lot of people. I'm one of 8. We didn't have a lot of money for that kind of stuff. So I did what I could to make the t-shirts and the equipment so that the kids had matching uniforms and stuff. And then it grew into, I would make special like birthday outfits and stuff so that parents had like special outfits and things for their kids without spending $60 on a first birthday outfit. Like they want something special, but it shouldn't cost that much. And they're growing out of it in one day. Then when he deployed, I was a full-time dental assistant for 15 years. When he deployed, 3 of my kids were at, like, we moved from Nashua to here. So here there's no full-time like there was no preschool, so I had to literally drive them. When we lived in Nashua, my kids would go to the Y at a young age. Our Y, they don't start until kindergarten. So I had 2 kids at 2 different daycares, 1 child getting dropped off at the Y, and then the other one was in public school. And I said, I can't do this while also like in good faith be a good employee to a dentist, and while he's gone, like that's just not right for anybody. It's not right for our kids, like whatever. So that's when I quit, and I grew my business even more from home, and I really like did a lot of custom shirts. I was wholesaling like to different like whatever, like. And I also got my CDL license to be a bus driver. So that's what I did while he was gone to kind of get us through. And I then turned it, not just me making custom, like I would make earrings and all that kind of stuff. I grew it from that to like an online boutique. So I was bringing in also wholesale clothes. So the boutique, I'd get on live and like sell clothes or whatever. Then we did the pumpkin regatta. From the pumpkin regatta is when we said, okay, kind of like lack of better terms, but poop or get off the pot. Like I'm not doing this anymore. I outgrew my garage. It was like this big. I can't make anything because there was so much stuff in there to sell. So it was either we needed commercial space or I'm done and I'm going back. I got to go back to work now. So that's, but I also said, because I do live in the village, we have so many children, and I always wanted, one of 8, our special things was, we didn't have a lot of money. You'd get in the van and you'd drive the White Mountains, you'd go to the little country stores and you got to pick out a special treat. And that was what we did. So I said, if I open something up, I want it in the village. I grew up taking craft classes, like that was what we were allowed. I had to raise the money to go to my friend's mom's house to take craft classes. So I wanted something that I could provide for the community. I see so many kids, like, I call my own kids misfit toys sometimes, so please don't take offense to this. But I see some of the kids, like they're out there late at night or like early mornings, they don't have anything to do. And you hear a lot of people complaining about them. And I'm like, they're just like misfit toys. Like they're not bad kids. Like they're just like, let's give them a place to go. So that is when I, in January, finally knocked a wall down. So like you drove by and you saw the paper in the front of my window and everybody was like, she's closing down. It's like, no, I'm hibernating. Like, I was a fishbowl in there and everybody was watching. I knocked a wall down to expand my gathering space so that I could provide more space for kids or classes. Then someone came to me who was a vendor in my store and asked me to buy their candy company from them. And again, like, we don't have deep pockets, and kind of like made this arrangement of like, okay, why do you want me to buy this from you? And I felt pretty proud of why, her reasoning of sleeping at the shop late at night so I can get stuff done, and our work ethic and making sure it happens. So we bought the freeze dried candy company, and that's when we came to you of like, what do we do for zoning? From there, that was in March of this year. So this has all happened like literally like one space, rented the next space, expanded this space, bought the candy company, put in a commercial kitchen. So where you see that U on the side of the building, that was our staff or team kitchen, we would call it, and we did a lot. Like, we had to change a lot in there to make it a commercial kitchen because I wanted to be able to make the candy on site. My idea is to be able to provide something like, I have so many teens coming to me and wanting to work, and I want to be able to put them to work. But I like you ever get to that point where you're like right there? You ever seen that meme where the guy's like chipping away, and there's like those diamonds there, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna cry because I'm like so frustrated because I'm like right there, and I know that we're right there being able to just like really be able to do what I want to be able to do and provide what we want to be able to provide. But it's not easy right now. Like, it's really not easy. Like, I work and then I take a little bit of that and I put it back into the business, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do the commercial kitchen here. We've gotten a lot of wholesale businesses, so our business name, the freeze dried candy company name, that's why you'll see two different signs up there. Original business started as Sullivan Circus. That was the party planning, making all the stuff. So we call ourselves the Sullivan Circus. Lottie Pop's Boutique is the storefront and the gathering space. We purchased Hey Sugar, which is the freeze-dried candy company. It's mainly wholesale. We do make it and sell it in the shop, or we'll consign to other stores that'll put it in a salon or whatever. But we just acquired two more huge companies asking us, like local in the state of New Hampshire, asking us to make candy, which is awesome. But if you don't have the resources or the capital, it's really hard. And then last month, 2 months ago, another vendor of mine, they have been in business for 20 years, and husband and wife team, actually over 20 years, they have been on Chronicle, 66 different flavors of gourmet cotton candy. They came to me and asked me to take over their business, and they have moved down south, so we now own Silly Puffs. So the transition of Lottie Pops, which is exciting because this is kind of what the very first thing I put into the back end was actually a candy counter, bringing me back to my childhood days of like that nostalgic, like fun little piece of candy. It's going to transition into like a nostalgic, I want it to be a destination. I want people to be able to come and not break the bank, and being able to like get that little treat for themselves or their family. I don't know if this is being recorded or not, so my daughter will be embarrassed, but like, my kids have believed in Santa since like 8th, 9th grade. Yeah, that's okay. They love Santa. Like, Santa's their thing. And it's the magic, right? So like, I just believe in the magic of everything. So I want to be able to have magic. Like, I want to be able to keep the magic without everybody being worried. So that's where we are. We're growing it and growing it. And we made the announcement that we are going to be making milkshakes and fraps, but like fun things. Like, not like think of like I don't know, like, you know, like the fun ones, like, and gluten-free. So 5 of us in our family are gluten-free. So that's going to be a big thing, is being able to provide gluten-free food. And we had the health inspector come through, and so I'm going to actually be filing some more permits, I think, because we're going to probably have to take another wall down, because we've grown out of that kitchen we've already built, we've already grown out of it. And we will be we'll be able to make, like on Monday nights, nobody's open. And I want to be able to open that back space, especially for like new Boston parents who are bringing their kids into town to like go to a sports event or something, like practice. Nobody wants to drive back home. And I just want them to be able to come and like use that gathering space. If I can have like a hot baked potato bar for them to fill their bellies, or like get something in and then be able to go pick up their kids instead of that. I understand that constant like driving back and forth. So if we can be able to provide a plate, I don't want a menu. We're not going to be, I have no intentions of being a restaurant. Like there's no restaurant. It's not like that. It would just be like pop-up type special things. And then when we do our events, we'll be able to make our own appetizers and food and stuff like that to be able, like if there's a paint night, I can serve something there. Not serve, have it available. So there's a lot of growth. It's tiring. It's exhausting.
Great, like
Yeah.
you're on the right track.
I hope so. And I just hope that I'm able to do what I want to do. And I hope that I'm able to provide the community and especially the kids like a place to be able to go and just have fun. And I also want to be able to provide something to parents where like just come here, drop your kid off at practice. You don't have to sit in a cold car. Like we have heat, we have a TV, like it's a big space now. You don't even have to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Just go somewhere. So that's what you guys see going on. So if you see the paper go up again, don't hesitate to knock on the door and ask if I need help, okay? Like, what is she knocking down now?
Just
So-
write something on the outside of it so people don't come up with their own story.
Well, it's kind of fun though. No, I wasn't intending it for it to be up that long, to be honest with you. The flooring and stuff like that took a little bit longer. And also, like, I was gonna take it down, but then I was working there till like 3 a.m. sometimes. And that glass, it gets a little freaky because you don't know who's looking in. You're like in a fishbowl, right? So, but I got the shades up now, so that's okay. We'll see.
Thank you for all of that, and honestly, it sounds like you have a pretty promising business model with the best of intentions, so that's a good,
We'll see.
good coupling. But it looks like did you have a question?
I heard something. New Boston doesn't have a high school?
No.
No, they come to
Oh,
Goffstown.
Goffstown is an area.
My little son just bought a house there.
Yeah, no, they come
Goffstown,
to-
it's an area,
High
area
school.
Oh,
high
that's
school.
fine, okay, I didn't know that.
And then they're middle school kids, so like, it's even for sports, like even rec sports and stuff like that, some of their kids will come to Goffstown for
I know-
certain
I
rec
know
sports.
My son bought a house up there,
Yeah.
so.
I think they start here, what is it, seventh
Seventh
grade?
grade, they
Seventh
go to
grade.
Mountain View, 7th and 8th
Oh,
grade, and then they
Mountain
go to the high
So
school.
they go to the middle school from 7th and
Seriously, I
8th.
didn't know that.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, right? Like parents are driving all the way in here to drop kids off to a practice, and then they gotta drive all the way back to help little Johnny with.
Where are you located?
I'm right here, literally, if you walk out the building, you'll see like
In the
my
back
red
of the building?
dumpster. So the back is like is one door, I can't even say back door anymore, because you walk into an event space now.
Gotcha.
And the front, when you drive past the brick building, it says Sweet Love Bakery, then it says Sullivan Circus and Lottie Pops, that's my door there.
I've been in the front, I didn't even know there was a...
Nobody does. It's crazy how big it is. So my goal, we were supposed to be open for Friday night under lights, and that's when I was going to roll out the fraps and the baked potato bar and stuff. But like all of a sudden, my kids were dropping like flies. Then I'm like, what is going on right now? Like, so I said, this isn't worth it. I want to be able to do it. I want to be able to do it right. I don't want to do a mediocre thing and then that have the people's like first reaction is like, oh, this is great, kind of like thrown together. Plus, nobody was.
Have you talked to Steve Biscucci about paint nights?
He actually is going to.
Oh,
Actually,
good,
so another
good.
really cool thing
He's
is
doing one tonight over at this trestle.
him and I have tried to. He actually did a birthday party at my shop for a child. He's going to do an adult paint night, and also I have a lot of homeschoolers and homeschool parents that have come to me. So we are going to be able to provide some classes during the day for homeschool parents, and he's going to do a 6-week session for that.
Wow.
And I have a woman coming in to teach sign language. She's doing like a 6-week course doing that. She's going to do for kids as well as adults. Then there's another woman, her name is Dr. Erica Duffy. So it's her daughter that's teaching Krista is going to be teaching the sign language.
Oh.
And Erica's going to be teaching like a behavioral, like emotional life like a life course on how to like regulate your own thoughts and emotions to kind of help you get rid of intrusive thoughts and be as successful as you can. So that's actually going to be geared towards high school or middle school and high school kids first, and then it'll open it up. But it's happening. Like what my goal was is happening. I wanted to be able to provide a place for people to use their skills and bring people together. So we'll see. I'm excited.
Did you have a
I think
question?
Mark
Yeah,
had a question.
There was something I saw here, and I don't know if it's something that you mentioned to me, I saw in these notes. What is community revitalization tax relief, revitalization incentive? What is that?
So that is something that
Did we talk about that?
Yeah, it's become available in other communities, but the town meeting has to adopt it. So we're putting together an article for this year's, or for not this year, March 24 vote, to see if the town will adopt this under one of the state statutes. And what it does is, it's for commercial and industrial areas.
Is this when I'm on the wrong side of the tracks?
No, this one will help you. The
Yeah,
other
that would
one,
apply, wouldn't it?
he's, you know the 79E?
Yep.
He's just a little
Oh,
bit out of that
yeah, yeah.
zone.
That's the wrong side of the track comment.
Oh, right.
That's not great.
Just
So-
build your property a little bit bigger.
I can't grow land.
So this one is the same kind of
Okay.
thing, only it's for commercial, industrial, like anywhere in the town, and it basically gives them a tax relief for any improvements that they make. So if
What about new
someone-
construction?
It's for new construction.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
It's for, if you tore down a building a few years ago and you built a new one, that counts, where 79E doesn't
Sounds
allow you
familiar.
to do that. 79E is only for replacement.
And that's not in place yet.
Correct, so.
It can be adopted in March,
It would
right?
be,
It would-
if, I'm sure the voters will vote for it, but I can't really speak 100% because
They will.
I
I mean-
wouldn't know, but,
They will.
so
makes
if it
sense.
passes, it would go into effect
Okay.
probably like right away in March.
Timing might be good.
I
Just
can
in
send,
time for
do
you.
you want me to send
I
you,
don't wear a watch.
do you want me to send you
Would you
information on
please?
it?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great.
So to go with what you were just saying, this is open business
Excuse
for
me.
us. As you are, it sounds like you have so many new things that you're doing, and you probably will get more offers as time goes by. As you're rolling out something new, just let us know, let Joanna let us know. and
I
we
don't
will-
have intentions of rolling, like now it's just perfecting it. Now
Great.
it's just,
Then as
that's
you're
it, we're
perfecting
done.
it, if you have the first night you're gonna offer fraps, or the first night,
Yeah, yeah.
let us know. What we can do is get that out for you. Any business that's doing something, we won't call it new, they're perfecting it, or it's something.
Oh,
that
I
they
thought you
like
meant if I was
out
gonna
there.
cry or not. I'm like, no, not unless
Nope.
I'm not, where I'm at right now, yeah, no. I mean, I have other, like, yeah, there'll be things, but it's gonna be freeze-dried candy and cotton candy and sweets and treats kind of.
Just all the stuff people love, basically, is what you're
Yeah,
saying? Okay,
yeah.
Great.
But
Great.
there's gonna be healthy things too. There's
Yeah.
healthy things
A
too.
baked potato bar.
I
A
heard.
baked potato bar, salad bar, those kind of things. Well, not only that, like I can, I got the approval from the health department and stuff like that. So like my idea is like on like Thursday, Friday night or Saturday night when you're heading to like a friend's house or wherever you want to grab something nice, there's going to be like the pre-made charcuterie boards that are on. I have a vendor that makes gorgeous charcuterie boards. So I'll be using those to actually make a nice charcuterie board on it, and then you can either keep the charcuterie board or give it to the friend's house that you're going to. You know, things like that. I try to think economically, like how do you save money, but also make it nice too. I feel like we can have nice things and celebrate nice things without taking tons of money from people. So that's my goal.
Appreciate that.
Do you
Any
have
questions?
enough employees?
Oh, sorry, Joanne.
I'm sorry, do you have
Employees
problem
are as a hard, like,
hiring?
I think being in the center of Goffstown, like, and he has his niche, like, I think being in the center of Goffstown is a little hard because you think about it, like, we are like a boutique in a sweet shop, right? So unless there's those bigger type positions that are actually coming into play now, I need certain positions covered. And you're kind of handcuffed, so to speak, to the people that live in this area. Like, I'm not going to get somebody from Manchester to come into the center of Goffstown to work at my little my
Yeah.
little boutique,
Yeah.
right? So we're getting there. I think it's tailoring, and also it's not that we're you have your vision of like what employees you want as well, and like who's going to speak for you. You have to keep in mind too that like I have vendors in my store that sell their product, and every person in there that I've brought in, I know their story, I know why they make the product they make, and like what their passion is, and I want to make sure that whoever I bring in is also able to represent them and tell their story when they're not there.
Right.
So it's not just finding employees to like keep my store open. It's finding employees that are not just sitting there and keeping my store open, but also having the same passion
Right.
and like representing.
Sitting there on their phone.
Yeah, like I want to make sure, like in good faith, if I'm
Yeah.
going to bring a vendor in and tell them I'm going to sell their product or represent them, I want to make sure that we are bringing the right people in that are going to represent them, and not just. And even you, as like a customer, if a customer comes in, I want to make sure that like it's an experience for them and not just like
Right.
So yes and no. It's kind of a.
Yeah.
I think it would be different if I was in a big city, but I don't want to be. I truly want to keep my shop here and hopefully be able to do with it what I want to do with it here.
Have you been involved with the Main Street program, or is that not?
When I first met you, I was on the board. When I first started the business, I joined the Main Street board. I'm not on the board anymore.
Okay.
I think you guys have given us some really great information for businesses, and I think this was like a really well-supported meeting. I think I will probably attend more of these type of meetings, especially
do.
with the support of the businesses.
Be great.
Yeah, would be.
Any other questions for anybody? No?
No?
Thank you
Thank you, guys.
both.
Oh, no,
This has been wonderful to
She had a
have.
much better
have guests
story
here.
than
Yeah,
I
this
did.
is what we dreamed
They're
of.
both great. They're both great.
Very
You have a much better business than I do, though, so I don't know.
But he's
How
got
about that?
40
Can I interest you in
years.
selling some cotton candy at your Seal Hill?
It took him a couple of years
Good luck
to
with that
get
crowd.
But maybe you need Christmas presents for your employees.
That is actually true. We did just complete a couple corporate to their business colors. We tailored their candy and stuff.
That's kind of cool.
I
It is
thought,
cool.
when
It is
you were
neat.
first talking, I thought you were doing like shirts, t-shirts and things like that.
I do. I still do that stuff, actually.
Because I got two gals that work for you, Mel Raymond and Karen Raymond.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, yeah, Mel's my right and left arm.
Yeah.
She came to me when she was 19.
And Karen,
And Karen now.
and they love my freeze dried.
So I'm just, because when I need shirts, sweatshirts, and that, they say, we know somebody local that does, we to get it from, I don't know who
Yeah.
in town.
I would talk to them because
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
would love to do your shirts,
No,
but
I
actually.
heard you talk, I didn't know,
Yes,
but I know they give it somebody in
I would
town.
love to do your things. I can tell you that you have there's a couple amazing businesses here. You have Jen Brown is right here. You have Haley Graphics is in Penardville. But if Karen and Mel are saying that
Jen, what is it?
Jen Brown is Brown Graphics. You have Haley Graphics is also in
I have another gal,
Penardville.
with Jen, I think Jen Brown works.
But Jen Brown, yes, they are not related. They're not the same person.
Okay.
But that's why now that you're saying that name, talk to Karen. I would love to make your things for you if I'm the person she's referring to. But I have a feeling that I'm not, because you might want to talk to her and just talk to
Yeah, I
Jen Brown.
wasn't sure, I just heard
Yeah.
your story, so I thought maybe
Yeah.
that's the same.
No, I have made things for
You look
them.
familiar to me, so I don't know if
But-
I run into you at the Putnams or something for lunch, but,
Maybe.
okay.
Kind of don't come out of my home.
I'll just,
But hopefully as business owners, you can talk
Yeah, I would
together
love to, yeah.
outside
I
and,
know.
and you can be part of that as a
Well, I
business owner.
actually would love to
Yes.
actually chat with you because we do a life
Great.
skills, actually that woman is doing a life skills program type thing, but I brought a gentleman in to teach how to do basic stuff on a car, which was like changing the tire and stuff like that. And I've tried to reach out to other business owners in town to see if they would be willing to come in and talk to teens and stuff, how to like get into the business that they're in. And I think that you would be great to come in and chat and do that type of a class, like just talk about who you are and what you have to offer, or what the opportunities would be if someone went into your business as far as welding and stuff.
well, I don't need any competition if that's what you're asking me to
No, no, but you need
Always,
welders.
I like it.
You can hire
We
them.
should continue this after, but as for now, for official business, is there anything else?
I have one thing.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
do too.
I handed out a list of, it's a list of commercial and commercial industrial flex zone properties that are vacant, so basically vacant land,
Oh,
not vacant
good.
buildings. And some of these, you know, really, like, you'd have to just check them off because it really wouldn't, it's not a piece of land that you'd be looking to develop, but I just got this yesterday from the assessing department, and
Isn't Cody Ave private?
yes, like I said, it's just vacant commercial or.
Oh, so it's one of the units.
Probably.
Okay.
It's not necessarily like a developable piece of land, so we'd have to refine this list a little bit. But it's not very long, really. It's
No.
two
It's not.
pages.
But we can take a look, Joanne, at some of these and figure out what would be the most attractive and maybe find a way to put this up on the site to attract potential business owners. This is a very good start. Thank you for bringing this in.
You're welcome.
Do you know what's interesting though, is that at one point, I was calling some of these vacant properties that say for lease several times, and then I had other people call. You don't get a call back, so it's like, why are these vacant?
Yeah, the same thing for me when I was looking for a property for Charlie's. There's like there's a barn that they always say that's for lease and for rent, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do
interesting.
something different because my husband's an entrepreneur, so. And I kept calling and no one ever called me back. The real estate agent, and I was just like, I just gave up.
Yeah, there's a few of them that I called, and then I would have someone else call for me.
Yeah, me
And
too.
leave messages or different information, and none of us. I'm like, I would think if you'd want that rented, you'd jump right on that.
It does make sense.
And the place is still vacant. Like,
Yes.
these places are still vacant, so that's interesting.
Thank you for that. Did you say you had something as well?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I don't know if anybody else saw it, this week, the DOT has changed their thoughts about exit 6. So we
Yeah.
sort of submitted a letter,
I
you
did.
did,
Yep.
on our behalf, saying that they have brought back that plan, at least for exit 6, that will start next year in 2024.
Completely reallocated the funding to it?
Yep,
That was originally-
yep, they
Wow.
brought it back in.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
brought it
amazing.
back.
That's fantastic.
And exit 7, of course, will be down the road a bit, because that's a huge project, but Lou D'Alessandro had a lot to do with it, so there was a lot of people, I think the Manchester side certainly were very vocal about those changes. So just wanted to,
that's
if
good.
nobody saw that.
Well, that's fantastic. If this is the end of the meeting, that's a great way to do it, because that's good news that we've done.
Yeah.
And there's actually other good
That-
news because
Oh, we have more good news.
Amherst
Yeah,
Traffic
um,
circle.
Oh, yeah.
in regards to the dams, I don't know if you're
Kinda
aware
that
of any
Next
activity.
seven is
So there's,
Seven
people
is
have been
further
applying
up.
for
Doesn't- it goes
specific
from
grants.
Manchester to-
Oh, guys, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So
Go ahead.
there's for the dam in Manchester, the one down, way down,
Yep.
yeah. Someone actually is applying to actually continue to run it and
to
keep
run
it
it.
open.
Good.
And they put in a submission for that, and from what they're saying, there's a likelihood that it might actually happen, so that would be very interesting. And then someone also got a good quote on the fish ladder, like if we have to install a fish ladder, and it was millions and millions of dollars less than they thought. And then someone also applied for a $20 million grant, and I was just reading, they're saying that the state thinks that they're gonna actually get it, and that's to help with fish passages, if we have to decommission any of the dams. So that's really good news. Looks
Thank you
good,
for that.
looking good.
Any other really good news? Anything bad you can hold off? Any other good news? No?
Awesome.
Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you again having both guests here. Do I have a motion?
Motion
Yes?
to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, but, yep. Motion by Melanie, seconded by Dick. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.